In an effort to essentially skew the election in favor of Republicans by suppressing the vote, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas has announced that several ballot drop-off sites throughout the state of Texas will be closed. And this is a reversal of an order that he had implemented in July, which essentially noticed that the coronavirus was going to ensure that more people were going to want to vote by mail. So he actually ordered more of these drop-off sites to open as a result. But now that it appears that Donald Trump and the Republican Party is facing tough re-election campaigns, Greg Abbott seems to be switching gears here. So counties will be limited to just one drop-off site where poll watchers designated by political parties and candidates must be allowed to observe ballot deliveries by voters. So this new order takes effect on Friday of this week, meaning that every county in Texas will only have one ballot drop-off place. Please vote early, please show up early, drop it off early, considering these changes that Greg Abbott is now implementing. A previous order, though, from July 27th was very different. So Abbott's July 27th order acknowledged the pandemic's danger by adding 6 days of early voting and waiving a state law that limits mail-in ballot drop-off to election day only. Limiting the number of drop-off sites will affect large urban counties that are strongly Democratic or trending in that direction. And the Texas Democratic Party said Abbott's new order appeared targeted at a rising Texas electorate. So that's what the situation is on the ground in Texas. This is what Republicans do. They know their ideas are unpopular, so they have to cheat to win. And so I'm curious to see how aggressively state Democrats are going to fight back against this. But if history, teaches us anything about Democrats, it's that they're weak and they, usually just release strong statements, but then don't follow up with real action. So with that said, again, vote early and make sure that your vote counts.
So if you're trying to figure out where and how to vote in your neck of the woods, tyt.com/vote gets you the information that you need. So check that out. Now, in this story, there's a couple of important things. Now, if you're wondering, why did Abbott bother opening up all those places to drop off mail-in votes in the first place? Don't Republicans hate mail-in voting? And so when he switches, it looks even uglier and more hypocritical. Well, that's because Republicans used to have an advantage in mail-in voting until political suicide bomber Donald Trump showed up at the scene and blew up the entire Republican Party. So tons of Republicans behind the scenes are now talking to the press going, make him stop. Why does he keep saying things against mail-in voting? It's a disaster. And remember, a lot of the Republican voters are older voters and they love mail-in voting. So in the beginning, the Republican Party in Texas is like, yeah, mail-in ballots, awesome, let's do it, yes, right? Now that Trump has devastated mail-in ballots on the Republican side and nobody's sending them in, and the Democrats are sending them in swarms, now they panic and go, oh, no, we didn't mean mail-in voting. No, because of something, we're gonna have to shut down almost all of the places where you can drop off your mail-in ballots. So what is that so-called something? We're gonna need poll watchers. There's not enough poll watchers at these polling locations. First of all, they're not polling locations. You just drop off your ballot. Polling locations are totally different. That's for a day of voting when you're actually going to vote at that location, not drop off your vote. So that's their very, very thin excuse. And say, oh, we just don't have enough staff. Really? You're the state of Texas, you have all the staff in the world. We don't have enough staff for poll watchers from both parties. I bet you Biden's team will get you plenty of people if you need them. And Trump says he's got 50,000 poll watchers all across the country. So look, we have to explain these things for two reasons. One, the media will not be clear with you guys. They'll say, oh, Abbott did this. No one knows why. They know why, they just don't want to tell you because of political correctness. They don't want to offend Republicans. And of course, Fox News and Republicans lie to you. In this case, they probably won't even bother because it's embarrassing to talk about how their party is against more voting and more democracy. So don't let them dissuade you, whether it's Texas or anywhere else. Still, there is some locations left, so it's not like you can't do it at all. So make sure you go ahead and do that, and enjoy the fact that the Republicans are scared to death of your votes. So right now, North Carolina, Arizona, Iowa, every Republican consultant especially for the senators, are sweating buckets, going, we're ruined because Trump talked against mail-in voting. The advantage Democrats have in mail-in voting is going to kill the entire Republican Party. I love it. You should love it. Go vote.
And one final note for voters in Texas, there are some rules when you drop off your ballots. I want to tell you what those rules are. You have to drop off your own mail-in ballot, so they don't allow ballot harvesters in Texas. So you have to show up yourself to drop off your ballot. You have to show your photo ID. They're gonna ask you to sign a roster and deposit your sealed, it must be sealed envelope into the ballot box. So those are the rules. Make sure you're aware of them and you're prepared to meet these rules when you drop off your ballots early.
So I love that we do this show together. Just while we're doing this one story, here are the folks who signed up by hitting the join button below on YouTube. Zachary Garland, LaShonda Williams, Gregory Vandenberg, Seb's Veg Meat, that's their handle, Brianne Kane, and William Milvey. Love you guys, you're the Young Turks.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.